The Wellesley Science and Technology Exposition is well underway here at Wellesley High School. The organizers are very excited to present so many exhibits, presenters, experiments, and fun for the entire family, for kids of all ages, K through 12, seniors, adults, and the entire community at large. Today is all about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. How to make these subjects fun, engaging, and worthwhile for students as they go through school and enter careers.
We've brought with us today a bunch of meteorites, a Segway, R2-D2, and also a bunch of information just about general astronomy and other science.
So tell us about your cool meteor that hit Russia.
So we have with us a piece of the meteorite that hit Russia last February outside of a town called Chelyabinsk. It's a very small, stony asteroid, but it's still very, very popular with all the visitors because it's so popular and everybody's seen it.
Excellent. So what do you think of the Expo so far?
I think it's really great. I've seen a ton of people around. I've actually seen a few people I know who don't even live in Wellesley. So there's a lot of people here.
How many people do you estimate came up to your exhibit today?
I'd say easily 1,500 people or more have visited our booth, but that's a low estimate.
Wow, what a turnout. How fabulous. So very excited about having all of our community here today, and our fabulous Wellesley Education Foundation hosted this with the biggest help coming from the Wellesley Science and Technology Expo team. They have been such a blessing to our community, and we really need the STEM boosting for this community.
The Brain Booth came in for the day courtesy of Wellesley College's neuroscience program. K through 8th graders get to hold, dissect, and learn the basic parts of sheep and bat brains, as well as human brains, sliced in many different ways and embedded in plastic.
You can see kind of a bigger version of that. If you look at like this slice, it's got some branching going on, right? So it's got, what colors are you seeing there? Yeah, there's some white and like brown.
No, I know, I just did one.
Yeah, so those are two very important and different parts of tissue, types of tissue in the brain.
What do you girls think of the brains here in front of you?
Kind of cool. Pretty crazy because it's like really cool to see like the inside and the outside of a real brain.
Did you have fun chopping it apart?
Yeah. It was really cool.
What'd you think of the expo when you walked in?
Well, I thought, wow, this is really big because there was so much going on and the activities looked really fun. It was kind of hard to decide what to go to. When I walked in here, at first I thought it was a little bit gross, and then I looked, I was like, wow, this is actually really cool.
Well, WELF is committed to the education of public schools through grants that we allocate that are submitted by our educators in the public schools. One of our biggest ones this year is our one-to-one initiative grant for $42,000 to have 6th graders, faculty have an iPad and be able to go forward with the education through the iPad initiative.
Targeting all grade levels and adults, Explo offers attendees the opportunity to build a small hovercraft and then ride in a big one. STEM Expo attendees find out how air pressure becomes fuel and how Newton's laws of motion, along with Bernoulli's principle, gets them hovering. The stream table, courtesy of Wellesley College and Dr. Katrin Moneke, teaches everyone who comes by how to build their own river, model river flow patterns, build dams, experiment with how vegetation impacts the flow of rivers, or how a drop in sea level might affect the flow of inland rivers and streams. Andrew Friendly and George Roberts take the time out of their busy day to bring in, set up, operate, and explain 3D printing, or as they like to say, the future. 3D printing, or additive manufacturing as it's called, is a process of making a three-dimensional solid object of virtually any shape from a digital model. Anything from architectural designs to wearable bracelets with the words Expo engraved onto them.
It melts plastic with a hot nozzle, squirts it out, does a layer at a time. The bed lowers a tiny bit, about the thickness of a piece of paper, and then it prints another layer and keeps going. And eventually you can get almost anything. This is the printer cartridge.
And over here we have hardy 5th grader Catherine Friendly.
Hi.
And she's here because she's volunteering for her dad, who is manning this table. So what do you think so far of the expo, Catherine?
I think it's really cool. There are a lot of really cool presentations.
What's your favorite one so far?
I think the Lynx presentation with they did a lot of exploding things, which was really fun.
Can't go wrong with exploding things.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have Andrew Friendly manning the station for 3D printers. Andrew, tell us why this is so cool.
Well, you can take an app from an iPad or on a computer. You can design a toy, an object, a feature like this high school, and then you can actually print it out and see how the object that you designed actually looks in the real world.
So what are some future projections of how this technology may be applicable?
So people or researchers at MIT and other places are figuring out what different types of materials, like metals, how can you print out a metal piece. There are medical researchers who are looking how to print out biological pieces, so whether like valves and for a heart or organs possibly one day. Even talking about printing out food. So if you take ingredients, you might be able to print out your food one day. We have other demonstrations of 3D printers. The one at the end, the printer down here, is printing out plastic bracelets that kids can take that have the words, it says Wellesley Science Expo on them. And it shows people how a 3D printer takes that plastic and prints out, in under 10 minutes, a little toy, a plastic bracelet. So there are other examples on the table here of other objects, other buildings that have been printed out. This is right here a model of a building called Taipei 101 in Taiwan. It's a skyscraper. Here's the model on the iPad that you can manipulate, change around, and here's a printed out mini version of it as well. Right here is a printout of an architectural feature. You can see the bricks, how an architect might design a feature for a building and see what it would look like. Also, this is a design from my office at Autodesk. Somebody made the design of this building. This is a different material. It's a powder that's been sintered together. But to get an idea of what the feature might look like, what the building might look like when it's actually built. So that's a quick display of three-dimensional printing.
What did you guys think of the expo?
Cool and scary.
What was your favorite exhibit?
Probably the nerves. The nerves. I like dissecting the cow brain.
Good choices.
I think from all different walks of life, if they're very excited about STEM, that is built on by coming to this. If they don't have an interest in STEM, they come here and they can just be naturally inspired by some of the very engaging activities that we have for workshops this year.
On behalf of the Wellesley Science and Technology Expo team, they'd like to extend a hearty thank you to all attendees and hope that they'll all come back again the next year when they have this.